Hello there, beautiful people. So, as always, I'm trying to figure out if Facebook has me live or not. I hope you're having a great Thursday. For those of you that know me, you know that today is my Friday. So, I decided to come a little bit later today for Business by Design because I've been kind of working on year end things, crunching numbers, doing all those wonderful things that I'm actually going to talk about today. Reflect and prepare for your 2022. Can you believe that we are already up on 2022, right? It is here. It is about to break through, and if you're ready or not, it's coming, right? So today I want to talk a little bit about reflect and planning or preparing for 2022, right? So a lot of times when we are in business, we tend to just keep working and working and working, and we never take the time to look back at our accomplishments, at the things that we have, done throughout the year. We spend most of our time focused on the things that don't work well, and so I always have my clients like stop and actually do a exercise in filling out a form with what are the accomplishments that I did this year, right? What are the things that I can celebrate, the things that I'm proud of that I was able to accomplish this year? Because again, typically we just go from one thing to the next, right? And we just keep moving. We don't spend time really celebrating ourselves and our accomplishments. And so that's one of the things that I want you to do before I even get into the rest of this message. One of the things I want you to do is to take some time, just, in your journal, even is a good place to do it. I have a success journal, and I think I've shown that before. And what I do, hi there, what I do, hi Charmaine, good to see you. What I do is I, always write in my success journal those things that I have accomplished as I'm going throughout the year. And so if you have not done that, get your journal, write it in your journal, or create a success journal if you don't have one, or put it in a notebook. Just write it down somewhere where you can take note of and really spend some time celebrating yourself for all of the accomplishments that you have achieved this year. Right? This year was not a easy year for a lot of people. Of course, last year was definitely not an easy year for a lot of people, but for a lot of business owners, myself included, this year and last year was probably some of our best years, right? And that came because there was the mindset and, of course, the willingness to shift and pivot when that was required, right? And sometimes you can't make the shift or the pivot because you don't really have a plan that you're working from to start with. And so you don't know how to shift or how to pivot because there's nothing that you are using, such as a plan, a specific plan that's guiding you towards the goals and the actual destination that you're trying to achieve, right? You're just kind of doing it flying by the seat of your pants. And that's a lot of business owners. It's a lot of business owners doing that. I did that in the first few years, just jumped into business. I just want to coach a lot of people, right? But no plan, no really vision, no idea of this is where I want to go, this is where I want to take my business. All I knew was I wanted to help a lot of people. That was it, right? And on the back end, I wanted to make a lot of money. That's not a plan. It's not a plan, right? So later in years, I learned, you have to have a plan, you have to have goals, you have to make certain that you are giving yourself some type of guidance. It's kind of like a GPS, right? Your GPS system can't take you anywhere if it does not have a specific destination. And so you need the same thing for your business and even for your life, right? So that's what I want to talk to you about today is like reflecting, like what should you look back on? What should you review in your business? And then how do you prepare for 2022? So I'm going to give you five things. Five things. Now there's a lot more things that you should review, but most of them will fall under these five things. And I want to start with actually number five is of course your goals. You should review your goals and you should ask yourself the question, did I meet my goals? Whether it's financial, whether it's with impact, right? Whether it's with influence, did I meet my goals? Okay. I keep getting a little flash there. I want to make sure that I am still live. Number one question you want to ask yourself, did I meet my goals? And in those areas, right? And it may be some other areas that I am not mentioning that you know of that you were trying to accomplish this year and that you had set for goals, right? So ask yourself, did I meet my goals? Number four, resources. You want to review your resources and you want to ask yourself this question. And this could be human resources, this could be uh, other resources, right, that you use in your business, any type of resources that you use. So there's human and there's the systems and all those things, but we're going to talk about systems separately. But you want to review your resources and ask yourself, did I use my resources efficiently, right? Whether they're human or otherwise. So for me, I have a team, right? I have my virtual assistant. I also have my the leader of my tech team, right? And so I have to review and ask myself, did I use these individuals and their skills efficiently, right? So that it could help me grow my business, or did I just have them around, just to say that I have them around, right? Because that happens a lot of times. We get into this place where we have people that are working with us, but we're not utilizing their skills to the fullest so that it can optimize our growth in our business, right? Now, if you have a really good team like I do, they'll let you know that. They'll let you know that you're not using me, the way that you should, or you're not using me to your full benefit in order to help you grow your business. But you want to review that and ask yourself, did I use my resources efficiently? Number three, systems, right? So here's a big one because a lot of people don't have systems in their business. A lot of people still doing things manually, right? But you cannot grow without systems in your business, because the truth is you cannot do everything manually, right? As you continue to grow, it requires more of your time and your energy to do things manually than it does for you to put into place systems that can help you do things more efficiently and in most cases quicker, right? So you want to make sure that you also look back and evaluate your systems. Ask yourself the same question: did I efficiently and effectively utilize the systems that I'm paying for? Or if you look back and you realize you don't have systems, then that's a real good indication that you probably need to get some systems, right? So you want to evaluate those systems that you are using. And this could be anything from your email marketing systems, your payment systems, right? Your merchant accounts, your shopping cart, your online scheduling system, your video recording systems, your webinar system, whatever systems that you are using in your business, you want to evaluate them and ask yourself the question: did I efficiently and effectively utilize those systems that I'm paying for? I'm very fortunate in that having someone on my team that is, I call her my tech girl. You guys have heard me call her that a million and two times. My tech girl, she keeps me really up to date on everything as it relates to systems and automation in my business, right? So every year, right, we have a conversation about, okay, I'm still using these things. Is this still effective? And she will let me know, nope, I found something better, or you can do something with so many more features or things with a different platform or a different system, right? And so I'm fortunate enough to have her also reviewing the things that I am using. And so if you don't have someone that's doing that, then you need to do that. You need to make sure that you're looking at those systems that you're paying for and make certain that you are utilizing them to their full benefit. Or if it's not something that you need anymore, right? If it's something that you haven't used or you don't know how to use it and it's just not serving you, then it's time to let it go, right? It's time to let it go. The number two is programs, right? And these programs can be either programs that you are in, that you've invested in, right? You want to make sure that you review them and you ask yourself the question: am I doing the work? That's the number one question. Am I doing the work, or am I just in this program to say I'm in the program, right? Because so many times we fall prey to the shiny object syndrome and we think, oh goodness, I need that program, or I need this program, and that person's teaching this and I think I need that, or I see that person doing this and so I'm going to learn how to do that. But we haven't really thought about how the system is going to benefit us. We haven't even thought about a strategy that's behind those programs that we're intending to use. For instance, I signed up for another certification, right? And again, certifications have their place. They really do, right? And I believe in them. But I'm not one for getting certifications just to have a certification and have some letters behind my name, because nobody cares about that, right? But I did sign up for a certification because I wanted to add another offering to my reservoir of what I offer my clients, right? And I saw how it can properly align with what I teach in the way of building profitable coaching businesses. So when I looked at that, it was like, oh, okay, it's a great investment, right? The price was right. And so that made for a really wise decision. But a lot of times we just get programs and we purchase them and then we don't do the work. They just sit on our hard drives or they just sit on the bookshelf and we never open it up. We never study it, right? We never really have a plan of how we're going to use it and how it's going to benefit us, right? So review those programs that you have invested in. Ask yourself, am I doing the work? Number one question. Number two, am I participating? If it's a group program, like group coaching or group training program, are you participating? Are you showing up? Are you plugging in? Are you 100% in, or are you just signed up? Right? The other one is ask yourself this, are you learning? Are you learning what you intended to learn? Right? And if you're not showing up, if you're not plugged in, if you're not doing the work, you're probably not learning. Okay? So review that and ask yourself those questions. The other one is programs that you offer, right? This is a time for you to look back and review, well, has this program really produced the income that I desired, my goal? Did I meet my financial goal from income from this program, right? And then you want to ask yourself too, are the programs still relevant to your ideal clients? Maybe some things have changed. Maybe you need to look at, how do I really deliver it differently? There's always some messages popping up here on Facebook, so I'm not sure if I'm live or not still, but I'm going to continue. So you want to ask yourself, is this program still relevant to my ideal client, or do I need to change some things, revise some things, right? Maybe scrap it all together and come up with something totally different because my ideal client now has a different challenge or a different struggle or a different desire that they want to accomplish, right? Ask yourself how effective this program still is and if you should keep it around. Okay, there's some things that I'm going to be changing in my own business, some things that I'm no longer going to offer next year, right? And some things that I'm going, thank you so much, Charmaine. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. That I'm going to be changing up some things in my own business, right? Because I look at what is the return on investment, what has been the success rate as far as students that have gone through the program have gotten results and the income that the program has produced, right? If it hasn't created a lot of income for me, then maybe it's not the right program. Maybe it's not the thing that my ideal client really needs. Okay, so review those. And then, of course, we come to number one. Number one, number one, number one. Number one is the money. Number one is the money, right? So even though we talked about money in the programs, right? We talked about money, spending money in resources and things that you're doing as well. But you want to make certain that you are reviewing the money. Where will you end up this year? Right? That's the question to ask yourself. Where will I end up this year? And then the second part to that question, did I meet my goal? Okay? Now, when you're looking at your money, don't just look at it from the standpoint of how much I made, right? Because a lot of times when we are in business, we are not looking at the full picture, right? There's income and there's expenses, right? There's two sides to this equation. And so you want to make sure that you are reviewing both sides. And here's something that I have observed in my own business over the years. And I used to get caught up in, looking at the income side and thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I didn't meet my goal, and then feeling bad that I didn't meet my goal, and, all of these things. But there was always an increase. And whether the increase was small, large, it didn't matter. It was an increase, right? So for the entire 12 or 13 years that I've been in business, there has been a steady increase in my income, right? And so you have to give credit where credit is due when it comes to how much you are really growing. Now, here's the other thing that I also noticed. As my income increased, so did my expenses, right? And so that looked kind of weird at first, but then I began to understand my numbers more, and I know that my expenses will increase as I invest more in my business and in myself. And so that's what has happened over the years. As I continue to invest in coaching, invest in training, invest in mentoring, right? Those things, of course, are expenses, but because of those things, my income increased. And so you have to make certain that you're looking at the full picture, right? Where are you going to end up this year financially? Did you meet your goals? Okay. But celebrate yourself. Even if you didn't meet the goal, but you had an increase, celebrate that. Right. And then sometimes we may have a decrease. Now, I haven't had one the whole time I've been in business, but you may have a decrease, but there may be a reason why. Maybe you invested heavily in coaching or training or mentoring, right? If there is a feasible and a justifiable reason why you did not increase your income one year over another, then that's okay too, right? Provided you made sound financial business decisions. Okay? So you want to review that as well. So again, I'm going to repeat those. Review your goals, your resources, your systems, your programs, and of course, your money. Okay? So how do you prepare for 2022? Well, you got to start with a plan. You got to start with a plan, right? So if you've never written a plan, and I'm not talking about the traditional business plan, just you could do a one-page plan on what my goals are for this year. What are my goals for 2022? Where do I want to be when the clock strikes December 31st, 2022? Right? Where do I want to be financially? Where do I want to be with the number of clients? How large do I want my coaching business to be? All of those things you want to have a plan for that, right? So the first thing, of course, is to write out your plan, right? Now, I also say, and I teach my clients this, right, to start with first write out your goals before we get to the plan. I skipped over this. Let's write out the goals first. So, and when I write out goals, and when I have my clients write out goals, we use 4x6 index cards, right? And I call them goal cards. And I instruct my clients, and I do the same thing. I write on the card what it is that I desire as if it has already happened. So all of the goals that I have on my goal cards are going to start with I am so happy and grateful that whatever that is, right? And so last year it was I'm so happy and grateful that I generate $10,000 a month consistently in my coaching business, right? Or I'm so happy and grateful that I have 8 women enrolled in my From Overwhelmed to Profits coaching program every round, right? Or every cohort, right? You want to write it so that it is positive present tense. That's step number one, okay? Then you want to write out your plan. And that plan can be, again, your goals to achieve, or your goals to achieve the ones that you wrote on your goal cards, right? What are the things that you need to do in order to achieve those goals, right? And so you want to look at, what are your offers? What's the price on your offers? How many clients do you want? How many hours you want to work in a year? How many weeks do you want to work in a year, right? One of my goals that I've had for probably 3 or 4 years now, I'm getting close, y'all, I'm getting close, is to not work for the last for the last quarter of the year, right? For the last quarter. So I'm closer than I was when I first made this goal, but it's still a goal of mine because I want to be able to take the last quarter of the year completely off, right? Right now, the way my business is structured and the way things are set up, not quite there yet, right? So I still do some coaching in October, and then I still do some coaching in December, but it is pulled back a little bit, right? I don't do any in November, but my desire, my goal is to take that whole last quarter off for the year, right? And that's when my husband and I can travel more. We can do whatever it is we want to do, and that's one of the goals that I continue to have a goal card for because I know it's going to happen, right? So getting back to, how do you make these goals become a reality is you have to have a plan. And so when you're writing out your plan, you want to write out again, what are those things that I need to do to make these goals a reality? Okay. Um, then I want you to create what I call your 12-month action plan. And that's really just the overview of all the things that you need to do in order to make sure that these goals will become a reality, but you're going to spread them out over the full 12 months, right? What are you going to do over the 12 months of the year? And then once you have that 12-month plan, that action plan written out, you can then break that down into quarters so that now every quarter I'm measuring how close am I to my yearly goals, right? And this can be done easily. It doesn't take a lot of time to do it, but it does take some thought. And it takes you really being committed to setting the goal, number one, definitely believing that you can achieve the goal, right? That's a big one for a lot of people. They don't believe they can achieve it. But you want to make certain that you spend some time just really thinking through, how do you want this to look? How do you want your business to look? How do you want to operate your business throughout the year? And write the plan for that. Write the action plan for that. Okay? Now, of course, if you need help with that, I am here. I can help you with that. I would suggest, getting one of the 2.5 hour VIP strategy sessions to work with me, and that's something that we can complete in that time and have your full year planned out of what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, right? The strategies, the tactics, the techniques, all the things that you need in order to accomplish those goals. We can do that, right? So if you're interested in that, of course, I'll leave the link below for the 2.5 hour VIP strategy session. You can sign up for it, and because you're a member of the community, you save $200 on that session. Now, let me also say this: not to pressure, not to hype any of that, because I don't believe in that. But that is one of the things that will be changing starting January 2022. I won't be offering the VIP strategy session in the same way. So it is actually going to turn into a half day VIP day with me. And yes, the price will change, the price will increase, right? But if you're interested in doing that and securing your session now at these prices right now, the 2021 prices, then now's the best time to do that. And even if you can't have the session with me until January, that's great, because chances are it's probably when we'll be able to do it, because my schedule is pretty packed between now and the end of the year, because I'm going away for vacation in a couple of weeks. But if you want to do that, right now is the time to do that, because it will increase in January. Okay? So that is it for today, right? I hope that you are ready to take on 2022 and make some changes, make impact, influence, right? And do things that you are called to do, achieve the goals that you want to achieve, so that you can create the business and the life that you desire, right? If you're ready for that, I'm here to help you with that. I would love to help you with it. I would love to help you create your 12-month plan, because I know what that can do for you. I know what it did for me when I started doing it years ago in my business, and having that direction and guidance and knowing where I'm going and what I'm doing, right? Instead of trying to figure it out along the way. All right, so if that's you. You ready? You ready, Charmaine? Yay! I know you're ready. I know you're ready. So yes, let's get it done. Let's make 2022. I hate to say your best year, because every year should be your best year, but let's make 2022 a better year than you had this year. And that's just by going, looking at your goals and everything. Let's make it better, right? Even if the increase is only 1%, let's go for the 1%, whatever it is, right? If you want to go for the 10%, let's go for the 10. If you want to go for the 100%, let's go for the 100% better, right? Let's do that, because I know it's possible for you. And let me say this, one of the goals that I've always had, of course, in my business also, was to reach the six-figure, level, because that's always the infamous thing. Let's get to the six figures. Let me just say this. That has been a goal of mine for a long, long, long time. And last year I came close. Last year I came close. This year we're hitting that mark, right? We're actually going a little bit above it this year. But um, the funny thing to me was, I was so busy doing the work, and just constantly doing what I do and providing the service that I provide, and helping people grow their business and increase their income and all of that, right, that I didn't even realize it until, I think it was maybe last month, when I was reviewing my financials, because I review them every week. Thank you so much. I review them every week, but I hadn't really paid attention close enough to look at, like, where are you on that mark. And I looked at it last week, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to hit this finally, right? I'm going to hit this. And it feels good, but it really didn't feel any different. It really didn't. I don't know if I was expecting bells and whistles and halos or whatever, but it didn't feel that much different. But you best believe I am going to celebrate myself, because, again, we tend to waste way too much time thinking about the things that didn't work out, right, as opposed to celebrating the things that did. So definitely going to celebrate myself. And in fact, the vacation that we're going to be taking is one of the things that I'm doing to celebrate, is taking my husband on a vacation for 7 days, and all expenses paid for him. And so it's just getting away and relaxing and doing the things that I really want to do, right? And my husband and I are big travelers, so this whole, pandemic and thing, having us on lockdown and in quarantine, all that stuff, kind of put a damper on that, and we weren't able to travel as much as we normally would. So I'm just happy to be able to, still get away a little bit. And so I'm going to have that celebration trip and celebrate myself because it's a major accomplishment. It's a major accomplishment, and it took work. Right? People keep thinking that you can just do this overnight. That's not so. This is not something that just happens overnight. Now, if you have a lot of money to invest to make it happen, yes, it can be done. Let me just say that it can be done. But if you're doing the normal things and you're building your business, like normal people, it's not something that can just happen overnight, right? And I think it's like a false um, sense of, you know, pie in the sky when coaches or anyone else puts it out there like that, like, oh, you can just do this in 3 months, right? Well, there's a lot involved. There's a lot involved, and most people, the average person, right, is not going to have the time, the financial resources, and all of those things to just make it happen in 3 months, right? So don't get me wrong, it can happen, but it will cost you a huge investment of your time and your money to make it happen in that way, right? So you have to know that in order for you to really reach the level of success that you're looking for, it is going to take determination. It is going to take your commitment. It is going to take you being consistent. That's one thing that people don't like to hear is consistency, right? And that means consistently working on your dream, consistently working on the thing that you have been called to do, and not allowing the shiny object syndrome to come in, not allowing this thing over here that someone else is doing, your head to turn and look at that and you want to start doing that, or not even allowing yourself to get caught up in following something because you think it's going to make money, right? That can never be your driver. Can never be your driver. You will not reach the level of success that you're looking for if money is your only driver, right? You have to be doing something that you're passionate about. You have to be doing something that you're skilled at, that you know how to do, right? And you enjoy doing. This cannot just be about the money. Because if it was just about the money, I would have given up a long time ago. Long time ago. So make certain that you are doing what you love and what you're passionate and what you're called to do, and the money will follow. I promise you that. But you must be consistent in that thing. And I'm real big on telling my clients and everyone else that it's about finding the one thing and doing that first, mastering that. And once you master that, then you can add other things. You can, branch out and have other offerings and all of those other things. But you cannot do 5 to 10 different things at one time because you will not be successful at any of them, right? If you think about the big wigs, the real successful people in the world, the Oprah Winfrey, for instance, she didn't start out doing everything. She didn't start out being a journalist. She didn't start out, being a journalist, having a talk show, and having a TV network. She didn't do all those things at one time, right? It's one thing at a time. And when you master that one thing, then you move to something else or you add something else, right? But your core thing should still be that thing that you love doing, the thing that you are called to do, and the thing that you're passionate about doing. And that's what will help you to make certain that you're going to reach the goals that you're looking for in your business, right? Is staying focused on the one thing, staying consistent on the one thing. All right. All right. Thank you, Charmaine, so much for being here. I love you. I love you. I love you. Charmaine says it felt good that you were capable to reach it. Yes, it did. It really did. Thank you. Thank you for the congratulations too. It really did. And I'm excited to, be able to show other people how to do that. I mean, because I'm all about that. It's like once I learn, I'm ready to show somebody else how to do it. And it's not as hard as, some people may think. It just requires those things that I said. Determination, right? Commitment, consistency. Consistency. It really does require those things. All right. All right. So that's it for today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Charmaine. I will see you guys. Actually, I'm not going to be back until the 23rd. 23rd because I'll be vacationing. So we'll be back on the 23rd. I'm thinking about doing a private Q&A session on Zoom. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know in the comments, right? And I'll set it up and have people sign up for it to do it. But I just want to be able to give, information, help people wherever they are. I also want to start doing some type of, Charmaine, you gave me this idea. Yes, you did. I also want to start doing some type of just live working session with me, right? If we could get on Zoom and spend an hour and a half, or I'll be on Zoom for 2 hours, and you can come in, go out. You don't have to stay the whole time. But if you're working on something and you have um, questions and you need help, I can be there to answer those questions and help you with it, right? I'm thinking about doing something like that. So look for that coming maybe in January. We'll do something like that. All right. All right, guys, we'll see you on the 23rd. So well, I'll see you before Christmas, so I'll wish you a Merry Christmas then. All right, have a great rest of your week. Bye now.